Asia's most prestigious club competition comes down to its final two games in 2017. The Asian Champions League. The best of the West against the East in Asia, represented this year by Al Hilal and Urawa Reds, respectively, of Saudi Arabia and Japan. And here is the first leg as the players soak in the sights and sounds of the King Fahd Stadium, almost filled to its capacity of 65,000 people, which lined up to get in as early as 1 p.m. here in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. It is at the moment 7:10 p.m., almost kickoff time, in a ground that has been a Saudi citadel for Al Hilal. They haven't lost to the Asian Champions League this year, but it is on this ground that they have been so very strong. 7 undefeated at home in the Asian Champions League, only 2 conceded. In fact, in their last 23 home games in the Asian Champions League, they've only lost just the once. For Urawa Reds, their away form doesn't make for very good reading. This is their 25th away game in their Asian Champions League history. They've only won 3, although one of the 3 was achieved this year against Western Sydney Wanderers, the club that beat Al Hilal the last time they were in the finals back in 2014. It's not just a club and a country that they will be representing Al Hilal, but also all of West Asia, because no West Asian team has won the Asian Champions League since 2011, when Qatar's Al Saad managed that feat. Since then, 5 years in a row, the title has gone to a side from East Asia. And this year, Urawa Reds are in the finals for the first time since winning it all in 2007, when they drew 1-1 in the first leg against Sepahan and won 2-0 in the second. They've never won in their games in West Asia, drawing with Sepahan in 2007 and losing to Al-Qadsa in 2008. Pre-match handshakes going on with the royalties before the start of the game. Turkey, Al-Shaikh, president of the General Sports Authority, Dr. Adel Izzat, Saudi Arabian Football Federation president. Prince Nawaf bin Saad is there too, Al Hilal president, and so too Mr. Mitsuru Murai, the chairman of the J-League. There is Urawa and their band of supporters that will always follow them wherever they go. And all throughout this year in the Asian Champions League, the first leg has been played away from home, and the second leg in front of their home fans, where they have progressed despite all the obstacles and hurdles that they've had put in front of them. Losing to Jeju, of course, 2-0 in the first leg, then overcoming them 3-0 after extra time at home. Losing to Kawasaki Frontale by 3-1, and then winning 4-1 at home. They drew against Shanghai SIPG, a draw which put an end to 4 consecutive away losses in the Asian Champions League. And here they are, hoping to gain something from Saudi Arabia. I bet you if you gave them a draw right now to Urawa Reds, they'll bite your hand off and keep that as a souvenir. For Al Hilal, the last home match, which really wasn't very much a home match, because matches against Iran are played on neutral ground. They actually won quite convincingly against Persepolis by 4-0. In the second leg, they drew 2-2. Omar Kurbin, the striker, scored 5 of those 6 goals in the 2-legged semi-finals, and he is in the starting lineup, the current top scorer of the Asian Champions League. They make just the one change from that 2-2 draw, and that is Abdullah Otaif, the number 8, who was suspended in that fixture, comes back in for Abdullah Al-Hafith, who is not even on the substitutes bench. But it is a strike force that can strike at any given opportunity, especially with Carlos Eduardo and Omar Kurbin. The substitute list includes Yasser Al-Khatani, the number 20, who can come on and change games with a slight pace and change and fleet foot. Well, the referee is from Jordan, Adam Makadme, refereeing in his 15th Asian Champions League match. Last year, he refereed in Urawa Reds' final Champions League game, where they were knocked out on penalties against FC Seoul in the round of 16. And they're hoping that this will not, or this will certainly not be their final game of 2017. There's still a second leg, but they'll hope that it doesn't bring them the same sort of omen of voodoo that he takes with them from last year's round of 16 match. Yuki Abe is the only survivor of that 2007 Urawa Reds victory against Sepahan. He scored the second goal in the second leg, and he leads the team here in his new role as central defender. They make one change, and it's an enforced one. Mauricio is suspended. That's a huge loss for them. In his place, comes Tomoya Igajin, the number 3. So that means that Tomoaki Makino goes into centre-back alongside Yuki Abe, and Ugajin will play at left-back. On the bench, they only have one out-and-out forward, and that's number 21, Zlatan Ljubijankic. They do have a couple of veterans in Daisuke Natsu and Ryota Moriwaki in case defensive reinforcements are needed in the team. Ramon Diaz in charge of his 35th game for Al Hilal. He's only seen them lose 3 times and never in the Asian Champions League. He's also got affinity with the J-League. Ramon Diaz, he used to play for Yokohama Marinos when he was up in battle against Takafumi Ori, who used to play then for Urawa Reds. He only lost 3 matches against Urawa. For Ori, it's his 20th match in charge of Urawa. 8 wins, 8 draws, but he certainly steadied the ship that was leaking goals for fun just before he came in. And the defense that at times had a case of the heebie-jeebies all of a sudden have improved tremendously. The 2017 Asian Champions League final ready for liftoff, and we hope it will be an explosion in the opening 10 minutes. A signal from Salam Al-Dasari to his teammates for a side that plays the pressing game and pressurizes you, especially in your back line. And we all know the Urawa Reds players love playing the ball along themselves and building up from the back. They have to be wary because Al Hilal will just come on so strongly, and in the rambunctious forward in Omar Kurbin can just kill you at any given opportunity if you hang on to the ball too long. So here we go, almost playing 3 at the back. Jafali with an early touch. Some nerves will be quelled in the opening stages of this match, that's for sure. Melesi, the Uruguayan, making space for himself and coming from deep very, very cleverly. An early ball is a very good one, which needed some defending as well because Omar Kurbin was all set and ready to attack it. Wataru Endo, though, was very, very alert to that situation. He wasn't too disturbed by the noise being made from the crowd. But what an early ball that one was by Salman Al-Faraj, who came from out of nowhere to get involved with the attacking play and almost created a chance on the plate for Omar Kurbin. Well, this is the kind of start that the Saudi Arabian crowd wanted to see and came to see. Urawa Reds, whose leaky defense can be had, need to really take good care of themselves and the ball right now. And they need some nerves to settle. This is where the likes of Yuki Abe and Shisaku Nishikawa will need to just calm themselves down a little bit. Goalkeepers just lofted the ball long, and that's no use at all looking for Shinzo Kuroki. They really do need to settle some nerves in the early stages because they know that Al Hilal will come at them from all sorts of angles, and it's an Al Hilal side that are so strong at the back as well. 258 minutes without conceding a goal at home. Last time they conceded a goal at home was in May, and that wasn't really much a home match. It was against an Iranian side. The last time they conceded in this stadium was in March. Only 2 goals conceded at home all year long in the Asian Champions League for a side that have the most impressive figures in terms of win-loss records in the Asian Champions League. Wonderful first touch by Kashiwagi. He's always so brilliant to watch on the ball and so very clever. Yuki Muto trying to make space for himself, and he's happy enough to win that throw after Salem Al-Dasari's charging all the way back. He wanted his teammates that time, Yasser Al-Shirani, to lunge in with the tackle a little sooner and a little earlier just to let Yuki Muto know that he is in the match. Wataru Endo will take the throw. Muto happy to deflect it off for a corner, hopefully. It doesn't get it. Last touch by the Urawa player for a goal kick to Al Hilal. Well, they will cheer on for any given opportunity in any Saudi Arabian attack, and any time they win the ball back from difficult circumstances and press on their opponents to force a mistake. The crowd usually go berserk here at the King Fahd Stadium. Their 12th man has turned up time and time again throughout the years. They certainly have turned up in numbers in this Asian Champions League final. Melesi happy to just roll the ball down to Otef, who will guard the defense as much as possible. Takuya Aoki will do likewise for Urawa Reds. That pass, though, wasn't a very good one by Eduardo. Kashiwagi wants to get moving straight on and straight away to Ugajin. First chance to see the overlapping fullback with a chance to lope forward and join in with the attack. He loves doing that. Here is Aoki. Suffered a slight hamstring injury. Their final J-League match before the international break against Kashima Antlers. That was a nasty challenge being put in by Malesi. Rafael Silva will make the most out of it. I think he was caught very late by the Uruguayan. Brazilian getting bitten by a little bit of South American flair, which he should be very used to playing back home. And it's an early yellow card in this match for Nicolas Malesi. He's not too happy with it from the referee and saying it's just my first challenge of the game. Sometimes it comes in as nasty as that. The yellow card will be brandished, and he has to watch. Well, the stats certainly were showing then right through on Rafael Silva. So Malesi has already got a yellow card in the early stages of this match, and for the next 85 minutes or so, he needs to watch himself. And he is a player who loves a challenge. He's sometimes guilty of diving in too much into it. Does get forward to support the attack as much as possible. Malesi, Amon Diaz know all about the fact that Malesi will need to watch himself a little bit more. But Urawa have settled themselves down a little bit. Just played the ball around, some confidence, getting some football cadence into their boots and bodies. That's a little passage of play, led by this man, of course, Kashiwagi. Chief creator behind this Knicks free kick. Tries to send a doozy inside there, but not enough height behind that. Muto. Cross once again. It's totally lacking in height, and very easy clearance by Al Hilal. Taruendo's header is more out of a necessity and an accurate one. Malesi this time decides to just calm it down a little bit with that touch onto Eduardo. That will be a free kick on the Brazilian. The Saudi crowd wants a yellow card, so too does Eduardo. So seriously, that was very much impeding more than dangerous play. That's very clever by the Brazilian. His third season now at Al Hilal. Both seasons prior to this Saudi Pro League season in its infancy. He's finished as Al Hilal's leading scorer. Endo, yet again, eyes on ball. Well watched. Kashiwagi will try his very best to get onto this. He won't. It's well won in the end by Salim Al-Dosari. Trying to make the angle for the shots, easily charged down in the end. And will be left to Kashiwagi to clear it. Well, he almost made a huge meal out of it, and somehow fortuitously it broke for Urawa Reds. They're still trying to play the ball out of defense, and this is where the pressing of Al Hilal has really been impressive all season long. And they've pressed and got the ball back as high up as possible yet again. Well, Urawa certainly know they can't be dwelling on the ball way too much in their own defensive third. Now they have the opportunity to step on the ball and come away with it. Referees allow play to go on. Silva is on the ball. The advantage is played for the Brazilian. Superb run here by Rafael Silva. Kuroki's in the box. Rafael Silva picking up the loose ball. It's gone in. Urawa Reds have struck. And after 267 minutes without conceding a goal, Al Hilal concede one from Urawa's very first attack of the game. It was made from a bright, brilliant run by the enterprising Brazilian Rafael Silva. And Urawa's top scorer in the Champions League this season gets goal number 8 with perhaps the luckiest strike of them all. It wasn't even a strike, it was struck into him. Free kick could have been called for that foul on Nagasawa. Instead, he was allowed to go on, and that clearance was blasted right into his boots and into the back of the net. All thanks to Mohamed Jafali. Was a little too eager to get rid of the ball, not knowing the presence of the Brazilian just beside him. And Silva has given Urawa a dream start. Well, he scored an early goal against Shanghai SIPG to send them through to this final stage. And now he's got the early goal, and it's an away goal too. How priceless will that prove to be in the final reckoning? The King Fahd Stadium has been stunned into silence and sniped by a mixture of poor defending and good fortune. Still though, they have to be there, and this might be double the blow for Al Hilal, because Carlos Eduardo looks to be clutching his ankle, and it doesn't look good. It's not even the ankle, it's the knee. Wow, talk about double jeopardy in one single minute. Almost your full season might just come up in smoke. Now they have to steady their ship and steady themselves up a little bit, Al Hilal. Urawa was really their very first real serious adventure in the Al Hilal goal, and somehow made the most out of it thanks to the hard runs of Rafael Silva. Ball is played in behind the defense. Endo caught ball watching for the very first time. Not the best of crosses though by Al-Sharani. Has to be cleared first time by Nagasawa. No nonsense at all from the youngster. Long searching for Kuroki, who's happy to just play as the pressing centre forward. The only one up there. Eduardo's gone right down again at the bottom of the screen. It still doesn't look good for the Brazilian, but they're still waiting as long as possible, trying to make sure that the leading scorer gets right back fit again playing. The treatment has been very lengthy on him. It's Al-Jafali. He's already scored 1 goal this season in the King's Cup, his first goal in 70 matches. Ugajin took that opportunity and really took that gamble by heading the ball backwards towards Makino. Another player down, injured. Omar Karbin, well blocked by Makino yet again. Ball's broken clear for Aburak. Ugajin clipping it into space cleverly. Kuroki shouldn't have gotten involved with that because he was retreating while Silva was going forward. Should have left it for the Brazilian to go another one of those rampaging runs of his. Ugajin with the ball that's played right across the back line. Kashiwagi will keep it as long as possible. Well, we thought so, with the ability that that man has. Such a player he is. He sends those passes that can really cut like a needle. The rhythmics of this Urawa red side very much dependent on their number 10 and the way he dictates matters. Melesi has been heavily involved already in the opening minutes of this match, including picking up that early yellow card. Oh, that's very fortunate by Al Buraik. That should be a yellow card. I hate to see that. Al Buraik just making as much a meal as possible on Ugajin. Tomoya Ugajin is making his first Asian Champions League start since the 24th of March. And he was very, very late. The yellow card was deserved. But Al Buraik was hoping that it'll be more than just yellow, and now he has to watch himself as well. So 2 very early bookings already in this final, first leg. Certainly wasn't malicious. He left his leg up very high though in trying to clear the ball first time, thinking that Al Buraik had miscontrolled it. So Melesi will take this. Omar Karbin, who almost was gifted an opportunity in the first minute of play in their very first attack, is right there lurking yet again. The ball is floated deep. Urawa, though, have been steadier in defense since Hori has been taking charge and making it a flat back 4 instead of the normal 3 at the back, which was preferred by Mihalovic. Salim to Melesi. Those 2 central midfielders that'll really box in. Omar Karbin using his physical abilities, asking for a penalty. The crowd wanted it as well. A referee's not going to give it. Makino's pointing a finger at Karbin and saying that certainly was trying to cheat. Somehow Urawa clear it and have a player on the ball. Kashiwagi, Muto into space. That time was Wataru Endo. They have players forward for this attack. Still Endo. Nagasawa. Oh, the ball should have been played on the outside. Rafael Silva was there ready to pounce. Aoki. Abe. And look at those Al Hilal players just converging and trying to win it back as soon as possible. They couldn't at that moment, but Urawa were pressured to give the ball away. At least Yuki Abe was. As we expected, a breathtaking start. The fuel added to the fire by early Urawa goal. Exactly what we wanted to see in the Asian Champions League in the first leg here in Riyadh. Osama to Milesi. Once again drifting as much as possible, almost in a free roll. Salim Al-Dasari gets the ball and tries to get it moving, always wanting the ball. He's always drifting in from the left to the right, playing in that position just behind the front men at times. Here is Salim Al-Dasari, a pass which is very well watched by Aoki, a guardian angel of that Urawa defense. That's the reason why he's been put there. This year alone, he's made 23 starts. This is his 23rd. That is 16 more starts than he managed all of the last 2 years combined. Kuroki, Silva, trying to get it moving. Clever, neat footwork by the Brazilian. Kashiwagi just lifting it up, hoping for the best. Silva, there is no foul. And once again, they run straight to the referee. They're almost pressurizing a Jordanian official into making decisions for them. Al Hilal. Well, that looked like a free kick for the Saudi side, to be fair. Was this a penalty, though? Some referees would have given it to Makino, who sometimes can be guilty of just diving in a little too easily. Here we go. That challenge there, that first kick out, that might have been a penalty. Not that, though, by Aoki. That was fair and square. That first kick by Makino. So he certainly has to watch. A lot of times he's just poking his feet into situations where he's got no right to do so. It's happened a couple of times this year already for a man who's making his 35th Asian Champions League appearance and 245th Urawa appearance. Speaking of big-time appearances, 455th for Yuki Abe at the back. Makino had to be steady and calm, which he was. Ugajin trying to float this just behind the defense for Kuroki. He wanted the ball speared behind Osama. Instead of attacking the other centre-back, might be forced to make a change here because Carlos Eduardo is still moving very gingerly on the pitch. As you can see in the middle of your screen. He's still crouching over and trying to shake off an early challenge. He's finding it very hard to do so. He's almost put a real dampener . A lovely take after a superb ball being played into Al-Buraik from Milesi. His good work just gone to waste after an iffy cross. Milesi it is, who looks for Al-Buraik yet again. This time he keeps it alive with a header! Narrowly wide from a charging Salim Al-Dasari. So hard to pick out. As we spoke about earlier, Salim Al-Dasari, because he just floats around everywhere in the pitch. You don't know where he's going to be. This time he was lurking just outside the penalty box and just dashed right in the moment Al-Buraik had an opportunity to head it back. Well, he took that snapshot and that was the reaction to it, because it was quite close for Salim Al-Dasari. Takafumiori watching over this. He just can't believe it, Takafumiori. And it's Carlos Eduardo who will give way, and hopefully they are hoping that he'll be fit enough to take to the pitch at the Saitama Stadium next weekend. And maybe that's the reason why Ramon Diaz has done the sensible thing to replace him with Nawaf Al-Abid. That was it, the clash of knees happening there between him and Nagasawa. Nothing malicious at all from the Japanese player. In fact, if anything, he would have been called for a foul and have been given the free kick. but the referee played on and allowed Rafael Silva to make his way towards goal. It turned out to be a very good decision by the Jordanian official because a goal did result from it. So what can Nawaf Al-Abid do and bring to the proceedings here in the first leg? Almost in tears, Carlos Eduardo. Hat-trick already this year in the Asian Champions League for Hamon Diaz, a player who knows all about scoring. He was the J-League's first ever top scorer in 1993 when he was playing for Yokohama Marinos. And in his career, 6 goals against Urawa Reds over a year and a half. So we've come to the point in the match where a little bit of sparring now will take place between the two sides as they've settled into it after a fiery, rambunctious start for these two teams. The bad news for Al Hilal is that their intrepid forward line has just been hurt a little bit by the withdrawal of Carlos Eduardo. So a lot more responsibility heaped onto the shoulders of Omar Karbin, the Asian Champions League joint top scorer at the moment. Looking to become the first Asian winner of the top scorer award in the Asian Champions League since Lee Dong-guk did it for Jeonbuk back in 2011. Mohammad Jafali to space, opening up. First touch of the ball for Nawaf. Happily freeing up Abdullah Taif. Taif, who had a red card, of course, in that first leg tie against Persepolis. Salim Al-Dasari. Taif, Nawaf, Salim, working and weaving their magic, making those triangles and shapes around the Urawa back line. Urawa just making sure that they follow the ball and not the body movements, and making sure that all the other players are checked off. That was almost a nasty challenge on Kuroki, who, to be fair, got up, and such great work once again by Aoki. That's the reason why he has been first choice since Takafumi Ori has taken over, because he does that job of protecting the back line, especially at position of Yuki Abe. Can be caught for pace every once in a while. Kashiwagi trying just to keep that flow, the movement on. But once again, the crowd appreciating the pressing and pressure put out by Al Hilal. Well, they came ready for a party. At the moment, Rafael Silva is playing party pooper for the Urawa Reds, who brought their own band of supporters. Almost 200 of them have traveled long distance to Riyadh. I can tell you, it will be full house at the Saitama. It always is when Urawa play, even in their local leagues. Urawa fans, not like any other. Nawaf has done extremely well with his wizardry on the ball against Aoki, who was happy enough that he was going backwards. So he wasn't too excited about trying to steal the ball or pilfer it at that position. Melesi. Which again, they have to drop very deep in order to build something. And all their penetrative passes at the moment just can't puncture this yellow wall. Well, Yukimoto was dragged back. That's what Kashiwagi was claiming to the referee. Yasser Al-Shitani perhaps got away with that one. Here is Al-Shitani. Would love to join in the attack as much as possible. He's already got 1 goal in this year's Asian Champions League that came in the semi-finals, and that is a very clever ball that's kept in play. What a save by Nishikawa. Well, Omar Karbin thought that was it. Goal number 10 in the Asian Champions League. He almost closed his eyes just to tap it in and run away in celebration, but instead Nishikawa made himself absolutely huge. That was a brilliant ball by Nawaf, who's made such a huge difference since coming on, and that cutback by Al Buraik was everything that you'd hope for from the right fullback. Omar Karbin put it on target, that's for sure, and he wasn't anticipating A goalkeeper who made himself twice his size in keeping that one out. The closest Al Hilal have come to a goal, and they should have scored. What a save by Shusaku Nishikawa. That was a pass by Nawaf, brilliantly behind the Urawa defense, well kept alive. At his feet, his right foot, that's the savior. Shusaku Nishikawa, who's had a troubled season, finding it hard to keep clean sheets this year, and on his 170th Urawa appearance, makes quite a splendid stop. Nagasawa, ball had already gone out. He thought he kept it in play. His Urawa team certainly a different side with him playing. Kazuya Nagasawa, that's the reason why he is one of 5 Urawa players recently called up by the Japanese national squad for their friendlies against Belgium and Brazil. This adds so much energy and spring to this midfield that can be so laborious at times. Rafael Silva, this is fluid, solid football until that challenge that came storming in. Kashiwagi kept it alive. Aoki did the sensible thing to play it outside to Wataru Endo. Tried that long pass, which Urawa don't really favor very much in their football. Because of that, Osama kept that one out easily. Here is Carbin, who's slowly getting into this one. Brilliant tackle by Makino. Gave him no time. He was waiting for him to drop the ball down from his chest, and the moment that ball bounced on the pitch, that was when the leg was stuck in. Another ball by Wataru Endo that was not appreciated at all by his teammates, trying to calm him down. And Wataru is saying that he ran out of angle, players pressing down on him. The last thing he wanted to do was look backwards. "25 minutes played. 25 breathless minutes of the first leg of the Asian Champions League final. Urawa leading by that 7th minute strike, deflected strike I should say. Defender onto the boot of Rafael Silva. Salem, that's a clever ball. It will be kept in play once again by Mohamed Al-Buraik. Still Al-Buraik. Tomaya Ugajin, who has had his hands full. Rafael Silva, that was superb. He has been their standout performer in this final so far. He's just soaking it all up, isn't it? 20 goals for the season now for Urawa with that strike. 20 in his 37th match. What a great first season for the former Albirex Nagata player. It is the thing with big games. Some players choke on that situation, choke on the occasion. Some players just rise up to it. Rafael Silva looks to be the latter source. Mohamed Jafali Malesi, Uruguayan in his 2nd season at Al Hilal, trying to get the attack going once again. Ball, no choice by Salman Al-Faraj but to play it all the way back. This is Otaif in his 5th season, having played in the Portuguese 2nd division for Lolitano previously. Salman, long searching ball, and they're looking for that outlet all the time, which is Al-Buraik, who will make this pitch as wide as possible. Cross wasn't a bad one, it was dinked and hung up in the air, almost wedged onto the path of Omar Karbin. Here's Milesi, away from Nagasawa. He's trying to drill that one across, almost too lazy to take on Ugajin. He's got the beating, and Ugajin's got to be a lot more watchful, and he has been, only because he is already on a yellow card. Nawaf, it's a very clever ball that's played out to Al-Shatani, who can't keep it in play though. Yasser Al-Shatani scored a goal in the semi-finals against Persepolis. Well, they've got 2 fullbacks who will gallop as much as possible and are more than happy to join in the attack at every given opportunity. And that's the width of the pitch that they'll try to find and use against this Urawa defense. That when stretch can be asked shot does come in. There was an angle for it for Nawaf, and he has been sprightly since coming on for Carlos Eduardo. The biggest compliment I guess you could pay him is that Al Hilal haven't missed the Brazilian since he's gone off, all thanks to him. Nawaf Al-Habib scored 5 goals in World Cup qualification for Saudi Arabia recently. Omar Al-Kabir has scored 7 for Syria. Failed to keep that one in play. 4 hat-tricks scored in the Asian Champions League this year, 2 of them from Al Hilal players, 1 from this guy. 5 of the 6 goals scored by him in the semi-finals against Persepolis. Omar Karbin, who's now got 23 goals in 30 games since arriving. For Al Hilal, joining from Al Darfa. This time, those flailing arms have been heeded by the referee. Aoki was guilty of that. Former Kashima Antlers player. He's always happy to just patrol those lines and make sure that those channels are cut off so that those passes that might thread and threaten will not be put on a plate. And Rafael Silva gives it away. It's well stepped in. So to Yuki Abe, then read that situation. That's experience for you from the former Leicester player. Baik, Burak, Nawaf used his body cleverly against Kashiwagi. Here's Salman Al-Faraj. Had to check his run, Yasser Al-Shitani. Yet again, they look for the width to spread it as wide as possible. Another shot coming in from Salim Al-Dosari. Yet again, they just cannot pick him up. I mean, he sets up a lot of goals, and this guy, Nawaf, since he's come on, has set up a lot of opportunities with those diagonal balls across, looking for a right full-back who is almost playing like a right winger in this match for Al Hilal. Mohamed Al-Buraik, already 1 good save for Nishikawa from Omar Karbin. The second corner of the match for Al Hilal. Karbin this time comes short. Nawaf, happy to go all the way back to Al-Buraik. Oof, Nishikawa almost caught off guard. He gambled, thinking that the ball is going to be lofted in and hung up. Still 1-0 to Redzu. Rafael Silva scoring the goal for them. Yuki Abe had to clear it and turned it into a very good pass to Kashiwagi. They're playing a very high line defense at the moment, and the ball can be had for Kuroki if it was played behind. But Jafali made sure that it wasn't anywhere around the vicinity of Yosuke Kashiwagi. It's usually where it hurts most. Kashiwagi has the ball and has time to look up and spray passes. Muto has been pretty quiet in this match so far. Al-Shitani kept it in play, only to give it away to Endo. Kuroki stole a yard in front of his marker. Just couldn't get enough purchase behind that ball to add to the 26 goals he scored this year already. Buraik, Rafael Silva will need to be tracking back a lot more against the right fullback. There he is, once again galloping forward, marauding, finding room behind Ugajin. Not the best of passes though. Let's give credit to Aoki, who apologizes for that pass after doing all the hard work of mopping up. Otaif, Salman Al-Faraj, encouraged by the crowd to shoot. Is it onside? Well, the flag did not go up. And Omar Karbin has missed another opportunity in his personal duel with Shusaku Nishikawa. And the Japanese goalkeeper is coming out on top, and twice already he's done so. Not offside, a good call by the assistant referee. And twice he's done so by just making himself huge. And he's made himself bigger and bigger as the minutes tick by. For a goalkeeper not known for his size, he springs up cat-like And this is the Nishikawa that we all know and love. This is the Nishikawa that has been voted 5 times best goalkeeper in the J-League the previous few years. Not the Nishikawa of the early 2017 that struggled so much. In a flash, she was right out, giving Omar Karbin no time at all to think. And his instincts coming into play. And twice his instincts foiled by the goalkeeping instincts of Nishikawa. Oh well, they're still trailing by 2-1, by 1-0 I should say, but they should be 2-1 up. Nawaf combining well with Salim, who decides to take that shot this time instead of trying to play the ball through the channels to match the run of Omar Karbin. Oh, they can't believe it. They really can't believe it. The shot took the luckiest of deflections and luckiest route to goal. That's a goalkeeper who's just fearless, absolutely fearless. Aoki, Kuroki forced to make that jump ahead of his opponent. Kashiwagi trying to steal into those touches, but it's very good play by Salman Al-Faraj. Making his 60th Asian Champions League appearance. Hasn't scored in 31 Asian Champions League appearances, number 7, although his last shot almost set up a goal. Wataru Endo has just been called on by his goalkeeper to let the ball go because there was room at the back, and Yasser Al-Shatani was never going to get to that ball that was swerving away. Well, his challenge led to the run by Rafael Silva. Prevented the ball from getting to the club top scorer, but the Asian Champions League top scorer for Urawa was there to deflect his shot into the back of the net. Muto trying to work Kashiwagi into the game, picks up the loose ball. Aoki straight away looks for Rafael Silva. First poor touch of the match for the Brazilian. He claimed the ball had already gone out. The assistant referee, the referees down the lines, the bylines, said no, play on. Omar Karbin does splendidly with his body yet again. It's a good challenge by Ugajin. Well, we thought it was a good challenge. Takafumi Ori is saying that was okay. The referee didn't agree with it, maybe because the boots were high. The studs were showing. Well, they have to settle down a little bit, and I know Rafael Silva is as adventurous as you get in terms of attacking winger and forward. Maybe he needs to help out Ugajin a lot more down this left-hand side, because everything dangerous from Al Hilal has been going down their right full-back, more than their left full-back. Right on cue, they decide to go to the left full-back, Yasser Al-Shatani. But Yuki Muto has been doing his defensive diligence down the right-hand side for Urawa. And once again, Rafael Silva sucked in the side and not tracking back. So there is a chance now for Salim to take over. Salim deflected. Could have gone anywhere for Salim Al-Dasari. Otaif, yet again, that run being made by Burak. The ball that's played inside. Omar Karbin, this time it does count. Third time lucky for the Asian Champions League, outright leading scorer now. Has been lurking, has been playing on the body of the last man of Urawa Reds throughout the match. And that's very much tells you all you need to know about Omar Karbin. He doesn't shirk, he doesn't hide even when he misses those open goals. Because at the third time of asking in front of Nishikawa, he plants the ball and sticks it into the back of the net for 1-1 on the night. Yet again, the outlet is out on the right-hand side. Another scuffed effort by Salim Al-Dasari. This time it falls neatly to Omar, but look how well he rolled his body. Look how brilliantly he did it against Yuki Abe, who's very much a defensive midfielder playing in a sweeper's role. And he couldn't deal with an upper body strength and the physicality of Omar. And as long as you play on the body of the last man, you know you'll always be onside. So clever by Omar Karbin. And more importantly, it's gotten Al Hilal right back into this game. There's no scrimshanks in terms of Omar Karbin. He'll always be around. He'll always show up. And Takafumi Ori perhaps needs to do something about Tomoya Ugajin at left fullback, because he is totally being bullied by Mohamed Al Buraik at the moment. Maybe they need a little bit more height in there to prevent those long diagonal balls from getting to him in his head. Ayoki, Rafael Silva, Kuroki says there is player on the outside, and that's Ugajin. Trying to roll it into space for Kuroki, kept it alive. Nagasawa couldn't get at the end of it. Here is Rafael Silva, still Rafael Silva, went in with a challenge, and Nawaf will come away with the ball now for Al Hilal. Yuki Muto guilty of shoulder charging Yasser Al-Shatani. This game has certainly come to life even more. We thought it couldn't get better than what we witnessed in the opening half of this half. But my goodness, now with the crowd behind them, it's fully charged. And finally poised at one apiece. Your thoughts, Takafumi Hori, especially with what to do with the Al Hilal right back. Al-Shatani hasn't had much joy in this left-hand side, as Al Buraik has down the right. Melesi, space opening up, poor first touch though, pounced upon straight away by Nagasawa, who was pounced upon by Saman Al-Faraj. Al Buraik, space once again, easily past Rafael Silva, still Al Buraik. Ayoki's got to watch with those challenges. Makino, that simple ball that slid across for Kashiwagi was an ill-advised pass. Nawaf comes away with it. Salim Ugajin is at the moment totally quizzed and bemused. I don't think he'll tell you his full name and spell it out at the moment, because he has been really in the clouds for a long time in this match, being totally bedazzled by the running of Al Buraik, the right fullback, alongside Salim Al-Dasari. Nawaf, Melesi, once again they go to Al Buraik. He's given some room now to maybe try to pick across. Decides to just play it all the way back to Osama Al-Sarari. Here is Tafali. His little mistake and kick out onto the boots of Rafael Silva, gifting Urawa Reds the opening goal of the game. Seems so far away now. That equalizer was coming. They have been threatening, to be fair. Abe pushed out of it by Nawaf. On the Royal Box, seen some impressive displays, not just from Al Hilal but also from the national team qualifying for the World Cup in Russia. Five teams from Asia in Russia next year at the World Cup. Asian Champions League football getting more glamorous, getting more airplay throughout the world. Despite all the money spent by teams from China, none of the Chinese sides are in the final. It is aside from Japan, Urawa Reds trying to become the first Japanese team to win this title twice. And Al Hilal trying to win this trophy for the first time since 2000, for the first time in its current format. There's no need to panic though for Urawa. It's 1-1. They have the away goal. The ball's like totally given away. Kuroki couldn't believe his luck. Nagasawa off the ball, running so very good from the midfielder yet again. Kashiwagi wants the ball back from Endo. It goes instead to Muto. Endo's continued his run. Muto tried that searching ball, just hit a little too hard. And then Wataru Endo couldn't keep it in play. A much more cultured pass, and that would have been on. Not the full circumference of the ball across the line, so the referee was right in not awarding the throw in to Urawa then. First half, which has totally blown by in a noisy din where the players can hardly hear themselves. And we're just seconds away from whatever time the referee's going to add on, probably a couple of minutes with the injury to Eduardo. Melesi, who has been heavily involved and has been watching himself discipline-wise since picking up that very early yellow card. Salim, who's been everywhere and covering every blade of grass in the Urawa half in this match. It's almost in a similar ilk to Kashiwagi, who's chasing after this ball now, trying to close his opponents down. Now off. Sari. They look once again for Omar Carbin. Oh, how did that stay out? Urawa are leading a charmed life. Don't blame Carbin. He almost had an impossible angle, but after that, they had players almost on the goal line and the goal gaping, and no one was there to put it in. This Urawa defense is beginning to leak big time again. They just can't deal with these long balls played in behind the defense. And those charging runs from the midfielders of Al Hilal. Not watched, not protected. Kashiwagi yet again tries to win it high up. Failed to do so. Yes, Salim Al-Dasari. Expertly anticipated by Aoki. Nagasawa comes away with it. Rafael Silva will chase after that. Great burst of speed by the Brazilian. Rafael Silva will definitely win a free kick. This might be even worse than just a free kick. Well, he was through on goal. Is this going to be red or yellow? Well, he has been spared. He has been spared, Mohammad Jafali. Just a yellow card for the defender. Some referees would have deemed that as goal-scoring opportunity and given him red. But how badly hurt is Rafael Silva, once again showing magnificent acceleration to get away with it. But this was that missed opportunity. Headed across goal, sleepiness from the Urawa defense once again. Catching a case of disease. Yuki Abe ball watching, allowing Yasser Al-Shatani to sneak ahead of him. Salim almost pouncing, and a cross goal. No one was there to put that finishing touch to it, and Makino somehow managing to clear it. Urawa have really been very fortuitous in this first half in terms of those chances that have blown by for Al Hilal. And can they take the lead now just before half-time with this Kashiwagi free kick? It's another ball that's floated in that lacked height. They'll build it all over again. The referee won't allow them to do so because it signals the end of a fantastic first half in this first leg of the Asian Champions League final. It's absolutely blown by. And it had liftoff from as early on as the 7th minute, when Rafael Silva's run, cross and shot was deflected into his path and into the back of the nets for 1-0 for Urawa. And then Al Hilal came back with opportunities for Omar Carbin, who was denied twice by Shusaku Nishikawa. one-on-one before rolling the ball past the Japanese custodian at the third time of asking in the 37th minute. 2 goals, 30 minutes apart, 1 goal each at the break. Al Hilal and Urawa Reds at 1-1. Welcome back to the King Fahd International Stadium here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The first half of the first leg of the Asian Champions League final. One apiece between Al Hilal and Urawa Reds. Breathtaking first half. And these players keep the tempo up and the rhythm for the second half. That must have been energy sapping, unless you are that man Osama Osawi, who's had very little to do. Ramon Diaz, remember, has not overseen a defeat in the Asian Champions League. Al Hilal have not lost in this year's competition. In fact, they have been unbeaten at home in 2017. The last loss in the stadium came on the 27th of December last year. Most successful Saudi Arabian club, most successful side in the Asian Champions League in terms of win-loss lists, but they just haven't won this since 2000, the year 2000. That was also the last time they beat an East Asian side, Jubilo Iwata of Japan. It's another Japanese side today, which were given the lead in the first half by a Brazilian, Rafael. So both sides' top scorers have gotten on the score sheet. And the Urawa fans will always be making a din wherever they are. Takafumiori, I'm sure, must be telling his boys that they were a little too open and expansive in that first half. Awarded the Al Hilal players way too much room. Ayoki was busy covering the right-hand side, and because of that, we didn't see a lot of Yasser Al-Shatani. But on the left-hand side, Ugajin was struggling not just to contain the right fullback Muhammad Al-Burak, but also the charging Salim Al-Dosari kept switching flanks and really bedazzled that Urawa defense. Nishikawa has been in tip-top form. You felt so sorry for him when he conceded that equalizer. So a lot more protection needed for this man on the ball in the second half. Ugajin gives away a pass immediately. Not the sort of start that Urawa wanted to start the second half. Rafael will be needed to track back a lot more often. A lot of times in that first half he was caught too central when this man on the ball, Al-Buraka, was moving forward. And maybe Kazuya Nakasawa, who was so impressive over the two legs against Shanghai SIPG, would need to be back to help that guy out and move a little bit down the left-hand side. Jafali, Salman Al-Faraj to Melesi, the very, very busy Melesi. Gajin's just gone charging into Salim Al-Dosari. Moya Al-Gajin. He's got 2 goals in the Asian Champions League, both against the same side, FC Seoul. Here's Burak, yet again running against Ugajin. The ball inside was a very good one to Omar Karbin. Well, both him and the defender lost sight of the ball momentarily, and Yuki Abe somehow managing to tow it out for a corner. Danger signs are there, especially whenever Omar Karbin latches himself onto Yuki Abe. He will try to attack Yuki Abe as much as possible, because the physicality of Tomoaki Makino makes it impossible for him to use that upper body strength against. He will try to bully the Urawa defenders from the first corner of the second half. Well cleared by Rafael, and a chance for the counter-attack now from Urawa. Kuroki almost kept that alive. Makino is told that he had time to take it down. Lofter, huge clearance for Rafael to do something about it. Kashiwagi trying to make sure that the defending starts from the front. It's the chasing down, and we didn't see very much of from Urawa in the first half. Very happy for Al Hilal to just set up camp in their half. Attack from different quarters. Melesi Easy header one. Rafael just jogging back. Not the best of passes played forward. Kuroki. Endo. It's a very clever ball played forward to Muto. Anywhere would do by Nawaf, who has been impressive since coming on for Carlos Eduardo. Taif, now Melesi. The outlet once again down the right-hand side. It's a very clever ball nipped inside. Carbin. Yukiabe happy to allow it to run out for a corner. But Makino cannot disappear just like that and allow Omar Carbin to attack Yukiabe. To be fair to him, he went to the nearest person who was trying to take a shot at goal. It's a much better corner. Carbin this time keeps this one alive. There is space opening up for the cross to come in! Oh! Should have scored. Omar Carbin should have scored. Was just hung up for the longest time, and Carbin put his head where it hurt, but couldn't find the contact. Pressure mounting. Third corner already in the early stages of the second half. Urawa make a mess out of that clearance. Nawaf keeps it alive. Nawaf's cross is a very good one. Yet again a cross goal. Urawa don't defend it well, but Al Hilal just cannot put the ball into the back of the net. Melesi this time came at him at pace and couldn't find any sort of connection, any sort of contact here, because this was a sumptuous cross. There was contact, but it was way too fast for Melesi to put a decisive touch at the end of it. Endo. Oh, it's very clever from Kuroki. Here's Kashiwagi now. Kuroki just ahead of him, decides to use Kuroki. Does well first time. Oh, took too long. Muto still alive. And this will be headed out by Osama. Still though, Muto on the ball for Urawa. Endo, just a couple of players in the box, including Kuroki, who had gone near. Crossed a little too high. Easily collected by Abdullah Al-Muaif. Goalkeeper who's had next to nothing to do except pick the ball out from the back of his net in this match. But Kuroki shaped himself up to shoot. The Urawa top scorer this year, who's already plundered 26 goals, might have done better to take it first time after turning away from his first marker. Here is Kuroki, as selfless as you get in terms of a center forward. Aoki, Kuroki, Kashiwagi decides to go all the way back to, well, Kashiwagi tried that little nutmeg on Yasser Al-Shatani. Didn't get it to work. Rafael Silva, still Rafael Silva, trying to just bulldoze his way through. Nawaf will take over right now, easily defeating Wataru Endo. Abe caught in no man's land. Ball's played through for Omar Carbin, expecting the run from Salman Al-Faraj. It was Nawaf who actually made the other run, the other side, on the wrong side of Makino, that the ball should have been played to. Makino happy to go back to Nishikawa. Rafael. Ugajin. They worked themselves out of that cul-de-sac brilliantly well. Kazuya, oh, Almost a perfect pass by Kazuki Nagasawa to Kashiwagi. Instead, it's clamped down of a defense that's employed by Al Hilal. Come away with it yet again. It's almost a siege mentality, the way they hunt for the ball. Kazuki Nagasawa stripped up from behind by Nawaf. Nawaf Al-Abid. A little too enthusiastic and overzealous in trying to get the ball back. Well, there certainly was an opportunity. They took an age to clear it. And really, that should have been 2-1 by Omar Karbin. Could have got a hat-trick in this game already. Another hat-trick for him. Salman. Spearing pass, almost picked up. That was very ambitious from Nawaf. A player who had his first double-digit season last season. 10 goals he plundered for Al Hilal. Not afraid to take it full-blooded on the volley. Well, he is a tricky customer, isn't he? Osama. Very fortunate to get away with it, actually, Jafali. Kashiwagi is known more for his creative impulses than his tackling nous. Nawaf, easy nutmeg on Nagasawa. Here's Malesi. Baid, seen less of him in the second half, and it's an attacking threat that we did in the first. Nawaf, well cleared by Wataru Endo. That was very, very good. The right fullback, Kuroki, felt he was fouled by Osama. The referee agrees. Osama Masawi, who is the captain of Saudi Arabia, returning to the club he captained 2008 to 2012. Gajin finally has got time to move forward. Rafael to Kashiwagi, keeping it alive with that clever ball inside to Ayoki. Onside, I think he was, Kuroki. He had taken it down. With that softer touch of that pass, he would have taken it in his stride. With the form that he's been in this season, might have been a banker for a goal. Endo. Muto. Here is Kashiwagi. Very good tackle by Jafali. Rafael Silva versus Malesi. It's been a battle that's been ensuing since the opening minutes when Malesi was booked for a yellow card. Salem thought that Omar Karbin had continued his run into that blank channel in between Ugajin and Makino. Well, still Al Hilal prompt. Still they probe. This Urawa defense is giving them every opportunity, with gaps appearing in the back line. Kashiwagi nipped, stole it momentarily. Malesi's done brilliantly well against Ayoki. Omar Karbin, players too far away from him. Rafael Silva. Endo. Muto. Look at how quickly those Al Hilal players just come charging down, trying to pilfer that pass and ball. Muto's had very little space to operate. A lot of what he's done today has been defensively. Since he's arrived at the club, he's been in double digits every season, Yuki Muto. He and Kuroki have struck up such a good partnership. 98 goals between them since his arrival. It's 46 goals between Silva and Kuroki this year. finally with time to look up, spray a pass. He finds Kashiwagi, who's dropped deep just to get involved. That is a very clever ball to Nagasawa. Still Nagasawa. Endo, much better this from Urawa. More patience in their build-up instead of just spraying one long. Ugajin, Silva, still Rafael, Kashiwagi, keeping it alive to Muto. Endo, back to Muto. Oh, delayed that pass. Was almost caught in two minds whether to wedge it over, to hit it to Silva, and in the end it was well read by Osama. But he would be happy with that passage of play. Takafumi Ori, at least they kept the ball and played it the Urawa way, which we've seen very little of in this first leg. Certainly missed the steely presence of Maurizio at the back, that's for sure, Urawa. If he had been there, maybe Makino would have won a couple of headers against the right fullback, Al-Buraik. Makino usually plays down the left-hand side, which is occupied by Ugajin. Here is Ugajin trying to touch down on Al-Buraik once again. Space opening up for Salem. Way too deep with the cross. Nawaf, invited to shoot. Took them all on. Couldn't get it on target. I don't think it's going to be a yellow card for Shusaku Nishikawa. He hasn't really been time wasting throughout this match. The second half, as we expect, an hour played, 15 minutes into the second half. Al Hilal totally dominating. Kashiwagi has certainly dropped a lot deeper now. The second 45 minutes. Nawaf. Makino is not going to shirk, not going to give up on the challenge against Omar Karbin, who somehow wins the corner. What a battle that has been between two men who are so strong and so stubborn. Nawaf's corner, way too deep. Kuroki, that's a poor clearance from the striker. But he's won it back. Done superbly well, Kuroki. Then a heavy touch gives it away. Here's Nawaf, Kuroki still down injured. Nawaf trying to just drop the ball in a dime for Malesi. And Nishikawa will throw this one out for treatment to be meted out to Shinzo Kuroki. Took a real knock. It's the last thing Urawa need, the top scorer limping out. Has been a fantastic year for Shinzo Kuroki. He's gotten better and better through the years. 26 goals this year, 5 more than he achieved last year. It's 20 for Rafael Silva. 8 of them, of course, in this competition. .45 between them, 46 between them this season. Once again using his body to try to charge down and back up into the defender, except this time it wasn't Abe, it was Makino. Abe is told that Karbin is in close attendance, Nishikawa too. Such a calm and clever pass. to Ugajin. Yet again, he kicks it out for Silva, who has been in the wars today. Rafael. Oh, there will be a ready-made replacement. Is it Ljubijankic? If it is, it might be a surprise, because we think that Toshiyuki Takagi would be a more ready-made replacement down the left-hand side for Rafael than Ljubijankic, who's very much an out-and-out forward. Shake of the head probably tells you that Urawa's goal scorer for the night, the top scorer in this competition, might just call it tonight. So two touted Brazilians coming into this game. Both might have to depart. Carlos Eduardo has already left the scene in the first half in an incident which led to this goal to start the match off. Then this was the equalizer. Great use of the body from Omar Karbin. Yuki Abe not strong enough in holding his ground. Allowing the Syrian to outmuscle him. So Zlatan Ljubijankic has got 2 goals in this year's competition, including one important one against Kawasaki Frontale in the quarter-final, which got them back to 3-1. Kuroki at Ljubijankic. Melesi, well tracked back by Nagasawa. Battle of pace. Makino claims he was tackled, and I think the assistant referee saw that all the way. Makino is not happy. I think he's got every right not to be that challenge from Salim Al-Dasari. Left his boot in, and I don't know why the assistant referee was right in front of it, did not flag. He's given the throw to Al Hilal. That should have been a free kick for Urawa Reds. Kashiwagi certainly pulled back by Nawaf. Will be the 3rd player yellow carded. Fourth player yellow carded, I should say. Following Ugajin, Melesi, Jafali. Ljubijankic, heavy first touch. Melesi. Fresh legs from Ljubijankic, ensuring that might be at early winning of the ball. Kashiwagi certainly dropped a lot deeper in the second half to help out with the midfield, allow Nagasawa to concentrate on his efforts down the left-hand side to prevent any sort of attacking threat by Al-Burak. Yasser Al-Shatani. That's well nipped in yet again by Kashiwagi. Al-Shatani. Muto has done splendidly well just to come back and help out with the defense. It's one part of the game which is not very much seen and noted, but the coaches will tell you how much they appreciate Yuki Muto's defensive effort in a ball game. Dangerous ball across for Omar Karbin. Those crosses that they've been sending in have been speared behind the defense. A real nightmare for defenders and goalkeeper. Salman Nawaf. Yet again the outlet down the right-hand side, Mohamed Al Buraik. This time Ugajin does get his head to the ball in a rare headed win against Al Buraik. Salem, Ayoki almost anticipated and intercepted Malesi. Space opening up now for Salman Al Faraj. Malesi went down. Yet again they surround the referee. He's got to watch Malesi. Remember, he's on a yellow card. Sometimes referees do give yellow cards for that. He did go down way too easily in the box. Gajin did have a hand on him. Urawa Reds can't just keep giving the ball away like that and inviting the Al Hilal players to come forward, because after a while they probably might crack this code. Kuroki, Kashiwagi kept that move alive, at least he tried to. Substitution imminent as Mukhtar Omar Falata is getting ready to come on. And he will take the place of Abdullah Otaif in an attacking substitution by Ramon Diaz, trying to get the first leg edge. Omar Karbin. Mukhtar's first touch had way too much sugar behind it. Gangly, and so hard to stop, especially when he's on those loping runs. Mukhtar. Kashiwagi, rare poor touch from him, who never afforded that time against an Al Hilal team. Will chase you down, not give you any time to settle on the ball, and punish you for any sort of loose touches in and around the defensive third. Surely will be a free kick. Ljubijankic pulling back Salman Al Faraj. Kashiwagi, time to look and spot, almost did with that ball to Ljubijankic. Well watched by Osama. Ljubijankic does get a second bite of the cherry with Ugajin just ahead of him. Uses the left full back. Ugajin looking for the space and angle for the cross, but he's very well defended by the player. He has been defending throughout this match. Buraik showing that he is just as adept defensively as he is moving forward. Ayoki too close, too tight on Mukhtar. Nawaf. Oh, what a clever turn that one was. He destroyed it all. It's almost as if he was admiring his very own turn, that he didn't care enough to take care of the ball. That was a very poor pass out by Jafali. Though it does make up for it by ensuring that Yuki Muto does not make any inroads into his defensive third. Endo, Muto, Yasser Al-Sultani very alert. Ayoki too. Ljubijankic, not the best of touches from him. So Ljubijankic stuck his leg in against Malesi. Got so very little time on the ball already, especially moving forward. The last thing you need is your centre forward to have heavy touches. Salman Al Faraj. Mukhtar. Omar Karbin. Mukhtar. Good block by Abe. Second time around. Oh. Nishikawa totally misjudged the flight of the ball. Jarjin got very lucky and the clearance came off Buraik. Easy pickings for Nishikawa, who's done a lot of the hard part right and almost got the easy part wrong. To the final 15 of the match, 26% of goals by Al Hilal have been scored in this period. 28% of goals by Urawa in the Asian Champions League have been scored in this period. Nagasawa certainly used his body very well against the Al Hilal players, a former Cologne player, second division of Germany. Well, there was a kick out there, wasn't it? The referee was looking at it. There was a kick out that might have and should have been red. It's Salman Al Faraj, and I think he might be punished here. Well, he's got away with it. There certainly was a kick out. He's gone down looking for sympathy, and I think he might have got it from the referee. Endo, another poor cross by a player who is not really fullback in nature. Defensive midfielder turned sweeper, and this year turned fullback. Aoki does well to get it to Muto. Kuroki, Endo. Once again, almost pulled that one off, plucks that one off the air. Shinzo Kuroki, just a little lax in that touch off to Ljubijankic. Well covered in the end by Osama Hosawi. All the Al Hilal players are slowly flagging now. Can't keep up with the energy and the pace and the tempo that they set themselves in the early stages of this match. Aoki needed a much better ball than that pass out to Kuroki. Aoki, now that's a much better ball to Aoki, to Muto. Oof. Had to be watched by Osama. He came right across the cover, knowing that there was cover at the back for Ljubijankic. Saki ready to come on. Muto, heavy touch yet again. Well, Urawa enjoying a very good 5-minute spell here, with the energy sapping out of these Al Hilal players. They haven't been as penetrative and incisive up front as they have usually been with their attacking verve throughout the season. 105 goals now with Rafael Strike that they've scored in 2017. They give away a free kick in a very dangerous position. Mokhtar trying to turn away from Nagasawa. It was actually Ugajin who came in strong against Mokhtar. It's Nagasawa who will give way for Tsukasa Umesaki, player who's been hit over the last couple of seasons by injury after injury. On his day, as he showed just in 2015 with his form, can be a goal-scoring threat, especially down the flanks. Salim, he tried to hook it back and keep it alive, without much conviction. Ali it was who tried to hunt and attack that first ball. Final throw of the dice will be Mohamed Kano, ready to come on. Kashiwagi now off. It's done well. First time out. Meisaki's lost possession. Here's Mukhtar. Totally fluffed his lines. Well, it's the rigors of youth, and sometimes it just gets to you, it gets in your head. It's lacking in the composure that's usually associated with the likes of Eduardo and Omar Carbin.
Substitution for Hilal, number 16, Nicolas
Milesi gives way to Kano. Mohamed Kano, his first year at Al Hilal. Al Ettifaq. Buraik. Here is the first touch for Kano, and he loses it straight away. Charging foul. Referee might call it back now. Meisaki didn't really have the advantage as Kuroki was charged on from behind. And another yellow card given out to an Al Hilal player, this time Kano, a minute after coming on as a substitute. Immediately the referee booked him, showing his frustration after the losing the ball way too cheaply. Kashiwagi was very clever and accurate to Endo. Now it's a much better cross. No one though attacking it at the far post. Meisaki wedged that one. Yasser Al-Fatani is watching it all the way. Muto. Endo. Muto. Managing to skip clear momentarily. Kashiwagi. Muto. Endo. Kashiwagi just behind him, so too Muto. Decides to use the latter, although he gives it away. And here comes the counter-attack from Al Hilal. Salman Al Faraj with a very clever ball to Nawaf, who keeps it in play. Cross took that slight deflection off Muto, which took the sting away from the ball. Gave enough time for that recovery and the clearance. 10 minutes remaining of this first leg in the Asian Champions League final. Yasser Al-Fatani. Mugajin. Surely he was fouled by Mukhtar. He can be way too enthusiastic at times, Mukhtar. As I was saying, he's so unpredictable, especially when he's running with the ball. That aura of unpredictability is the reason why Ramon Diaz has decided to send him on. Well, this was a deafening atmosphere. The start of the match, 2 hours before kickoff. And credit to Urawa in the second half, despite ceding possession, facing a barrage of Al Hilal attacks. They managed to quieten this King Fahd crowd down. Happy to give away that amount of possession. It's usually the other way around in the J-League. Urawa with all the possession, then conceding silly goals on the counter-attack. This time they have been very, very fortunate. They'll be thanking their lucky stars at the end of this match, because so many chances Al Hilal have had, not just the 2 one-on-ones which were saved by Nishikawa from Omar Carbin. Talking about the second half as well, the balls were hit right across the face of goal. Carbin, Milesi missing those chances. Kano with a very clever turn. Crowd losing their patience on him because they wanted the ball to be played up front a lot sooner than that. Kano continues those big strides of his to get into the Urawa defensive third. Salim has to go backwards because the defensive gate is as tight as you get. Yasser. Oh, took that surprise shot which almost caught the goalkeeper off guard. Yasser Al-Shirani. Nishikawa is alert. He's had a good game, Shisaku Nishikawa. Maybe that return to the national fold has given him the confidence needed. Saki told that man was on. That's just rustiness from a player who's had very little game time over the last couple of years. Kuroki first to the ball, but I think he caught the ankles of Nawaf. Accidental, so there won't be a card. But there'll be a free kick for Al Hilal. Shot which almost caught Nishikawa by surprise. It's very good defending from Abe, using his body to protect the space behind it. You can dig it wherever you want, as long as you put a yellow wall front, which is impregnable. No one's going to be attacking it. No foul, says the referee. Carbin, who has been very quiet over the last few minutes. Mugajin. Oh, that's a poor clearance from him. Salem. Kano. Managing to just scoop it up. Defenders ensure that they body checked Carbin to allow a free run at the ball for Nishikawa. Takagi will be the final replacement for Urawa Reds. Player who scored the goal that sent them through to the semi-finals. Ljubijankic, I don't think he can believe it. Is it going to be him coming off? He's just come on, remember. I think it's going to be Kuroki. That's right, Kuroki brought on. It was a signal to Ljubijankic to go central. Takagi to go out wide left. Muto to continue down the right. Just had that one sniff where he turned away from his marker, but he didn't pull the trigger, Kuroki. Takagi scored that crucial fourth goal against Kawasaki Frontale in that dramatic quarter-final tie. Kashiwagi, almost a very clever ball. They expected the ball out wide. He reversed that pass, somehow managed to win the ball back. Ljubijankic, Kashiwagi, Umesaki. Kashiwagi continues his run. Umesaki, oh, that was so close. It looked like it was a very good save. Umesaki thought so. Everybody around the ground thought it was a good save by the goalkeeper, Al Muaif. That's that decoy run by Kashiwagi, just opened the space up for Umesaki, and that was almost his first goal in 2 years. It was a brilliant save, not spotted by the referee. And Urawa almost pinching it in the end. Would have been their first ever away win in the knockout stages of the Asian Champions League. Omar Karbin. Mubarak. Salman Al-Faraj. Salim. Al-Baid. Oh, too fanciful in the end. They did unlock this tight defense finally. And he waited forever to pull that trigger. Nawaf. Counter is on for Urawa. Right ball has to be played by Muto. It was not the right ball in the end, and he knows it. Umeisaki had kept pace with him, and that was a poor pass. A tired-looking pass. Kashiwagi asking Muto to continue running as we approach the final minute, plus whatever time the referee wants to add on. Remember, when Urawa won it in 2007, they drew the first leg 1-1 against Sepahan, and here they are at 1-1, which will set up nicely for Saitama in a week. They will take this result, I tell you. Oh, it's a very poor touch by Ljubijankic. Omar Karbin. Couldn't find enough elevation from that cross by Buraik. Ljubijankic looks very rusty and very heavy with his touches since coming on. No free kick. Nawaf's got away with it at the end. Jordanian official Adham Mohammed Makhadme decided to call it back. Ljubijankic is a lucky man. That is earlier heavy touch did not result in a goal. Has been so decisive. Mohammed Al-Buraik, a yellow card now after the latest skirmish. In the first half, he was all over this Urawa defense, and they couldn't deal with him. Still chasing. Salman Al-Faraj asking Mokhtar to win that one in the air, which he didn't. Nawaf. Salim! That was the chance to win the first leg. Salim Al-Dosari scuffing it. Diaz might have to settle for the throw. Ljubijankic is still down, clutching his head. He was screaming out loud. That challenge from, it's the elbow that caught him as Yasser Al-Shirani was trying to get leverage on that jump. hate to see this happening. Now the Urawa players is rolling down and writhing in pain. The Al Hilal players are letting the frustrations get the better of them. Trailing foot of Salman, which wasn't appreciated at all by Umeisaki and his teammates. Jankic tried to reverse that pass to Muto. Aoki. Loopy ball looking for Umeisaki. Carbin. Magnificently watched by Makino, who has been pretty solid tonight. Kashiwagi wins it back. Referee plays the advantage. Yuki Muto. Shot repelled. Umeisaki. He's not taking it to the corner flag, which tells you that Urawa might just fancy themselves for that winning goal in this match. It's not going to come because the referee puts an end to a first leg, which ends 1-1 in a tie now, which is finally poised for the second leg in a week's time in Saitama, the home of Urawa. Urawa came here looking for something, and boy have they got it. They didn't lose, and they've got an away goal. When Rafael Silva scored after 7th minute, that was the 80th Champions League goal in Urawa's history. And then Omar Carbin, having missed 2 chances with Shusaku Nishikawa, the end rolled the body to score his 10th of the season. And that's the 100th home goal for Al Hilal in the Asian Champions League, and the 175th goal in the Asian Champions League for Al Hilal in its current format. Not good enough though for a victory. They missed more chances in the second half, right in front of goal. Carbin, Melesi, guilty of them with goal gaping. They couldn't take advantage of the home leg, and it's Urawa Red and their fans who go home perhaps the happier of these two teams, having pinched the away goal and drawing this one 1-1.
まあそうですね、勝ち点をまずこっちで得て持って帰るっていうのが目標だったんで、まあ、最低限の結果を出せたんじゃないかなと思ってます。はい、
セカンドレグ、
まあ次で、まあ、勝った方が優勝、多分そうだと思うんでね、はい、しっかり、それを成し遂げられるように頑張りたいなと思います。はい、
最後に一つ、アルヒラルやってみて印象いかがですか？
この会場の雰囲気、勢いもありますし、時間経つにつれてね、相手の特徴だったりっていうのは掴んでこれたと思うので、それはホーム埼玉スタジアムに戻って、ね、しっかり生かしていきたいなと思います。ありがとうございます。Yeah, that's it.
Out your home, it's very good today. You score goal and you got the draw today.
Yeah, it's the result is what we came for. You know, it's 1-1. We score 1 goal away, and now before the second game we have a good chances to win also at home. And I think we play good game. We are a lot of difficulties. Hilal is a really good team. We have problems, but in the end we keep this and we get good results. 1-1.
Do you think the Urawa today it's very lucky because Al Hilal it's lose it more chance, too much chance today? It's because in first half it's too much.
Yeah, I think the first half we had problems. They were really Al Hilal played really good, especially in front of the goal. They create many chances. After second half, it was a little bit better. I think we are a little bit lucky, but it's football, you know. I think we were fighting good, fighting hard, and in the end, I think also deserve 1-1.
How do you see in the Japan now? The next match is in 25 of November.
I think it's going to be a different game. We play at home. I think we're going to show even better in front. We are especially home. We didn't lose. We won all the games, so I hope also it's going to be now this time, because we play in front of full stadium and in front of our fans. We want to win this ACL, so we're going to do our best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stand up.
يا شباب اذا سامعيني بي ان اذا تكرمتوا اتصلوا فيني الله يخليكم على 5522 عندكم الرقم اللي كلمتوني عليه من قبل الاستوديو، من قبل لا تبدا المباراه عفوا. ما بيشبك معاك؟